Hi Bert.
Hi Laura.
Pleased to see you here on the conference. I think it's huge. Like every year, European Family Justice Center Alliance is organizing this wonderful conference. Our colleagues are watching online everything we are doing here and you are doing. But now in our podcast, The Power of Hope, which we borrowed from you, actually, not that you own the concept of hope, but
Absolutely not. Absolutely
we
not.
were very inspired by the models you are doing. So we were thinking maybe you could share a little bit of why has Family Justice Center became a good practice in Europe, and why is Council of Europe, Istanbul Convention mentioning this model? I know, but we want the other people to know as well.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, when I come back on your, we also borrowed hope. We borrowed hope from the US. That is why Chen Hellman and Casey Gwynn, the founder of the Family Justice Alliance in the US, they further developed. Chen Hellman was exactly the one that further developed the concept of hope, but we'll tell later about it. Yeah, why is a Family Justice Center good? The thing is that what we learned, and that's in the past, is that multidisciplinary cooperation, working together, different organizations working together, is the best practice. If you want to tackle the gender-based violence and you want to do something about it, you want to help survivors, then you have to work together. You can't do it on yourself. We need each other. The police, the social welfare, mental health care, everything, everyone involved in the approach of domestic violence, gender-based violence, has a certain role, but you have to combine it. And if you want to have an effective approach, then the multidisciplinary work is the key solution. And we believe that the Family Justice Center concept, the framework, is about multidisciplinary work. And we know it's effective, but we also know it's very difficult to organize. Because organizations always have the tendency to think, okay, they work in silos, what we mentioned also yesterday on day one of our conference. And you have to get out of your silos. You have to search for partners. You have to be open for communication, to
have a voice.
Yeah, and don't think about what's in it for me. Organizations, professionals in organizations have the tendency to think, okay, but when you talk about multidisciplinary cooperation, they think, okay, but what's in it for us? No, it's not what's in it for us. You have to ask yourself the question, what's the best for the survivors? Yes. So we believe, and it's not only believe, we know it's the best practice. The European Commission now also acknowledges it. They are quite enthusiastic about this framework. You could see that in the last year in the grant applications for funding, the Family Justice Center was named as that organizations.
As a model, yes.
Yeah, they were invited to organize a model like the Family Justice Center framework. So we are quite proud of that. It took a long time to.
I think you should. You should.
And we are all happy that you are in Romania. They also a member. We call it the family.
Yes, we are still at the beginning. We have a lot to learn. That's why we are chasing models all around, and we are happy to learn because yesterday we saw some 10 rules on establishing the Family Justice Center, and not like rules in terms of it's compulsory to do, but in order to have hope that you are on the right track, because sometimes could be maybe the expectations can be too high, and you tend to stop. So also you being the president of European Family Justice Center Alliance, but coming from Holland, I know that you have very good legislation, and now I understand that there is legislation which is consolidating actually the rollout of the family justice centers, like, or
Yeah.
if I understood correctly, I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not sure if it's already legislation, but
Yeah, it's guidance.
And that's good news because I know that in my country, when I started working in domestic finance area, that's about more than 20 years ago, and 10 years ago, 11 years ago, we started with the European Family Justice Center framework model. And I tried to convince in that time already the government, and not only national but also local governments, to say, hey, this is a very good practice. The US founded in 2002, and they already were very successful. And not successful in a way that success is difficult to measure, but it's survivors. They were very enthusiastic. They felt that they were helped by the family justice concept, and that's what was already shown in the US. So we tried to convince the Dutch government, but that took quite a long time before they now finally see, hey, it's working. And what you need is a good practice model. And Filomena in Rotterdam,
Yes.
we have a couple of members, 4 from the north of the Netherlands, Sterkhuis in the south, and Filomena from Rotterdam. And they now have shown, and they are now working hard to get more centers like Filomena in the Netherlands. But they show now that that is working. And also the situation around femicide is helping us a little bit.
They are focused on working with high-risk cases,
Yeah.
which is very important to early identify those cases in order not to be too late for women.
What you see is that it's very difficult, and I think you experienced the same in Romania, it's very difficult to convince governments, and especially the responsible ministries, to say, hey, adapt this. And because we believe, and I strongly believe personally also, that the government is responsible for the health of your inhabitants. And that's the national, but also local governments. I had discussions in the past with mayors from cities and say, but you are responsible for the health of the people living in your city. So organize it, because people are suffering, people are dying. That should not be happening, and you can do something about it. And that's now slowly, and that's why femicide now, since 1-2 years, is high on the agenda. Because
it started to also become in our country.
And it's horrible. It's horrible that it's happening. And now slowly you see that governments are also paying attention to it, and it opens doors. And that's something that we are not so used to doing in our brand, and in organizations working in domestic violence and gender-based violence have to learn more to use, and not abuse, but to use situations like femicide or whatever, to show to the government, to the officials, this is what it is. And today we will have a presentation from one of the voices, a woman from Belgium. It's her story, and she will show slides that I'm sure that a lot of people in the room will think, oh, but that's because she was shot. And you see pictures but that's the reality, and we have to show that.
Well, we have a similar case in Romania in which the woman has been shot, and she was also pregnant, and she has her daughter with her, so it was like former partners. So yes, I think it's important to prevent all those cases and focus on working together on the safety of the women and girls. It's very important. So as a last conclusion, if there are some countries in Europe which have signed but didn't ratify yet the convention, so if it would be some advice you would give them in order to motivate them to have more courage, and
it's a good question. That my answer would be to them: open your eyes, don't look away, because that's what's happening. Gender-based violence, domestic violence, femicide happens everywhere. Every country has the same issues, and it's happening also in their countries. And what they do is looking away. So if we don't see it, it's not there. And I should advise governments to be realistic and to open your eyes and to see that there's a huge number of women, also men, but mostly women, children suffering from violence in the families. And they can do something about it. And they are obliged to do something about it. And to be honest, personally, I also want to have the European Commission to play a stronger role. Because I'm working in a project for a long time. And I think you know it also, is that a lot of projects that they are granting, they last for 2 years.
And then, yeah,
money is gone, then they go on for 6 months, sometimes a year, and then it's away.
Yes.
And I think that 70–80% of projects are not lasting longer than a year after they are finished, and that's a waste.
Yes.
And we also started with a grant, and
but you have succeeded to.
Well, we had a mission and we had a vision to continue, and even we worked for 6 years using our own money in the spare time. But if you have a vision, and that's something that I would say to governments, but also to the European Commission, we can do more than just saying, "Hey, look at that." We can say, "You have to do something. It's your responsibility."
Yeah, and beyond giving just funding is just the political direction.
Yeah, but we have to convince politicians that it's happening in their country also. I remember, if I may so, when I was working as a project leader in the city where I was working, the Hague region in the Netherlands. That was in the beginning when we started to roll out an approach on gender-based violence, domestic violence. It was that time called. And I had to convince municipalities around the city of The Hague, because it was a region. I had to convince mayors to participate. And there was one mayor from a city where mostly rich people were living, and he said, "Oh, we don't have domestic violence. We don't have cases from domestic violence, so why?"
Yeah, that's typical.
Then we showed him the police reports from his municipality, and there were quite a number of cases of domestic violence. And he was shocked. He wasn't aware of it. And then he said, "Oh, I didn't realize it." And that's something that we have to do also in governments. What you ask about countries, we have to show them also in your country it's happening.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge. That's the future, but we have to continue and show the world.
So thank you, Bert, very much, and looking forward to the following session on today's second day of conference.
I think it will be more in a different way powerful, because now we also have the voices and people that tell their personal stories.
And we are also using voices in our projects, because it's about them, not about us.
And that's the last thing I want to say. Also, countries, what you said about not ratifying, we have to show we have to use their voices over there, the survivors, because they are the ones that can tell, "This has happened to me. This happened to me." So, okay.
Thank you very much.